Hola, mi gente, and welcome to a new episode of Frill Talk. As you can see, I have a lovely guest with me, Gutter. Hello, Gutter. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for having me.
So glad you're here. I'm super excited to talk to you today. I hope you're doing really well.
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Thank you for having
So tell us about yourself, please. So, what styles do you wear, and how long have you been wearing J fashion?
me. Okay, so I am Gutter. I am 24 years old, going on 25 in like 2 days.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. Happy early birthday. Wow.
thank you, thank you, thank you. My favorite substyle to wear currently is sweet and old school sweet. I do like to dabble in punk and just regular old school that isn't sweet leaning. I've been a Lolita since May of 2022, which is about 3 years underneath my little frilly belt.
Wow.
So I have some experience, not quite intermediate, but still not a beginner. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Well, I really love your outfit.
Thank you. Thank you.
It looks so cute.
We're not talking about the fact that it's from Devil Inspired. Just this is old. This is old. It's from Devil Inspired. We don't talk about that.
So, how were you first introduced to J fashion?
I was actually introduced to J Fashion in 2012 through Princess Peachy on
Oh,
YouTube.
oh wow.
Yeah, old school. She is like my queen for real. Like, I don't know what I would have done without her. I think I saw and this is so specific. I saw the video of her trying on multiple different like coordinates, and I think some of them were replicas. That's fine. But she's trying on multiple different outfits. Some of them were AP, some of them were like bodyline. And there was this song playing in the background, and it goes like happy, happy morning. Kira kira shiny, kira shiny. And that stuck in my head forever. And that's like what got me into Lolita.
I love
just
that actually.
yeah.
I love that so much. So since it's been a couple years since you've been wearing Lolita, I guess it was during a little bit after the pandemic that you
Mhm.
kind of got into it. So I guess you'd be considered a pandemic Lita, COVID Lita. I don't know what the terms the kids are using.
Pandemic Lita, post-pandemic Lita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess yeah, I guess it was post-pandemic Lita. So
Yeah.
how's that been since I guess being into Lolita where the world has changed a lot, so we're a lot of online.
So I feel like there's like two sides to this, where it's one side where I think I joined in at a really good time for plus size Lolitas. There was like a boom in like plus size Lolita indie brands and like random drops from like brands that were, it was kind of wild to see it. So I got really encouraged through that. But I also feel like post pandemic, the social aspect kind of died a little bit where I'm from. So I feel like I lost out on a little bit of the community that I could have been in on had I not joined sooner, had I joined sooner, you know?
Wow, yeah. I can't even imagine, honestly. I mean, me personally, I've been into it a little bit longer, so I was able to be in a physical community and then online community and then kind of slowly going back to physical community. So I can't even imagine for Lolitas that primarily had to rely more so on the online community. I do think it's kind of interesting. I feel like there should be like more research on that.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have any favorite brands?
Yes, yes. So I feel like this is a little bit of like a interesting area for me because while I do have a lot of love for like AP and Baby, they kind of sit in their own area for me because I do own some of their pieces. Granted, I own like Shirring Princess. Everybody knows us like plus size people. We wear Shirring Princess, like the only dress that'll fit us from Baby, or like I don't know, just any Shirring piece really. And the AP pieces that I have are altered, so I have kind of like a complicated relationship with them. So I don't say feel always feel comfortable calling them my favorite brand because they don't cater to me.
Hmm.
Um, but I do feel comfortable saying that I love me an indie brand. I love Fashion Monster House, Maz's Boutique, Sleepyland, Magical Muse, Skresk Vision. They're like really new. They do headdresses and bags.
Hmm.
Circus of Peril does like really dope cut sews and bloomers that are like vinyl.
Ooh.
So dope, so dope.
Ooh, you have to send me that because that sounds really interesting.
I'll send you that link to their shop because, and they're always selling out. Like and I'm like, save some for me, please. Um, but yeah, I love those indie brands, especially the Instagram shops. Like some of these Lolitas that are like in the communities, then they start making stuff. I think they
Mm,
know best what the
yeah.
community needs.
I agree. Yeah, because Magical Muse, I love their cuts, so it's really great. Like they had so many different sizes in Sleepyland. Like their dresses, like can range a lot of sizes. Really
Yeah,
great. So
really
do
good
you
to.
have a current dream dress that you want to add to your wardrobe, or do you have a dream dress that you currently own?
So, my first dream dress that I acquired was actually Baby's Shirring Princess. Like, that was the one that was like, that's the only baby piece I'm going to be able to own. I need it. And once I got it, I felt complete. But I realized that I wasn't complete because there's this dress that like fits the perfect era for my taste in like pastel goth bittersweet Lolita, and that's Sugary Bones by We're All Mad Here. And it's like this crazy, it has like little like this little yoke on it, and it comes in like mint lavender, like I think pink maybe too, and it has little skull bones going down it. So beautiful. And that's like the one dress that's so elusive to me because that brand is defunct.
Mm-hmm.
They no longer exist. And the size that I need it in, like nobody's giving it up.
Ugh.
Nobody's selling theirs. So I'm like,
Ugh.
ugh,
Oh man.
ugh.
I do hope you find that dress. I really do. So since you live in Central California, you mentioned at least off camera that you haven't had much of a community, a physical community. So have you always been a lone leader?
Yes, I've always been a Lolita, but I'm kind of now shifting towards not calling myself one
Mm.
because of how rich I am in community online. I consider my online mutuals like basically a part of my little online comm. Like, and I'd like to hope one day that we'll get to meet. So I'm just holding out hope. I'd like to shout them out if I can, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
So there's a few of them. There's Awful Seraphim. There is Metalita, Sanrio Cielo, and Frilly Lily. If I didn't get to mention you, I'm sorry. I am very forgetful, but just know I love you so much.
Do you have any favorite places you like to wear Lolita in your area?
Ooh, yes. So my area, we host like a lot of punk shows and like a lot of
Mm.
live music. So whenever I get to go to like shows, I usually like to dress up in Lolita.
Mm,
Yeah, that's like
nice.
my favorite place. Or the grocery store.
To get your muffins.
Yeah, get my muffins. Why not?
So how has your experience in Lolita been?
I guess there's been one word for me to describe it best, and that would be cathartic. Um, I feel like it's been a really wild, like spastic journey of like gender and like body confidence and just general self-confidence and kind of figuring out who accept me, who what people will accept me, you know? It's
Mm.
been a journey in all aspects of life, just wearing this fashion alone. And I just think that yeah, it's been kind of wild. It's my experience has been cathartic, wild, beautiful, super fun. Just so many things at once.
Wow, that sounds like that sounds beautiful actually. So since you kind of did mention this, have you struggled with confidence while wearing Lolita in public?
You know what? Yes, I did. And the interesting thing is that it was all mainly like self-made confidence issues. Like
Mm.
nobody gave me a hard time when I would go out in Lolita. I actually got a lot of positive reception in my local area. I get a lot of positive reception. Like a lot of teenagers be like, "Hey, cool outfit," and they're not being sarcastic; they're being genuine. Like,
Yeah.
so
And
it's
kids are
like,
mean.
and they are me. Like, so I was like, "Wait, what? You have my outfit? That's cool." Um, no, but like, it's I don't know. There, there's something about getting outside and being dressed like this that you kind of just have to be confident. And
Yeah.
also, along with that, I think it's the fact that people will think less of you or like underestimate you in all ways when you're dressed like this. So, a tip that I have for Lolitas, um, nobody will fuck with you if you know how to put them in a full Nelson while you're wearing AP. So, I'm not advocating for violence, just self defense. So, A good thing that helped me raise my confidence in Lolita was like taking pictures just for myself to reassure that it was for me. Having my everyday people in my life tell me like just start doing it. Like why are you so scared to wear a dress? You know? I've mainly struggled with like things that I've barriers that I put up myself, you know. I haven't really gotten negative reception from other people, so no one's ever really given me a hard time or given me a reason to be insecure externally, but a lot of it was just me getting in my head. A couple ways I combated that was like taking pictures and just not posting them just to be sure that I wanted to do it for me and like not anybody else. Um,
I
I
love
got
that.
I got a little bit more physically fit, like a little bit more buff, just so
Yay!
that way I could get comfortable with like beating people's ass if I needed to.
I love that.
And then another thing was having people outside of EGL like encourage me and be like, "Hey, don't be a little bitch. Like, just wear the dress. Like, it's just a dress." Um, and yeah, like it was quite the journey, but I got there eventually, and now I'm just like I'm walking out in cords all the time. My wrist cuff fell apart.
Oh! Oh no! Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, I
Oh, let
love
me see. Is that the wrist cup or does it go on the wrist cup?
it. It like goes on the wrist cuff. It's like a little like ooh, it's a little barrette and
Oh,
like
that's
a
cool. Oh
yeah.
wow.
Lolita, 42 Lolita's got some cool shit.
Oh yeah, I honestly love. I was on there earlier. I was on there earlier about it, like, should I get stuff? Because later this month is the Great Lace in Chicago.
Oh
So I was thinking, if I were to buy something today, would it get here in time? I don't think it will, but
yeah.
but it's like if I could get something just a little bit, maybe, but I don't think it's gonna make it in time. So I'll just, go to the vendors in the Great Lace and get some stuff there. Because
Yeah.
I'm like starting to like figure out or starting to coordinate like what I'm gonna wear so I can like put it in like because I usually the way how I pack my cords for events is like, I figure out what I'm wearing and I kind of put them all together in one lid of the vacuum seal bag. So it's just easy for me to just like take it out at the event and not have to worry about everything. So I usually have to like think about what I'm wearing like at least 2 weeks before the event or at least a month between 4 to 2 weeks.
Oh my. Yeah. Same,
Yeah.
honest.
Because it's like if you forget something, sure you can buy something at the vendors, but like you might end up getting two things of something you might own already. And it's like, I don't want to have two of the same thing. I mean, that's cool, but
I feel you. I feel you.
so you mentioned in your sign up for about Mana-sama. What does Mana-sama and Moe I'm gonna say it wrong. I'm sorry.
Don't nobody know how to pronounce
Triple
that.
M mean to you personally?
So this is gonna be a little long-winded, but Mana-sama to me is like everything because he is very representative of who I feel I want to be. He is, it sounds super basic, but he's just a dude who wears dresses, like, and plays guitar. And like that's just what I aspire to be. So like when I think of him and I think of like his music and like Malice Miser, Moi de Moi, or like however it's pronounced, honestly, I ain't French. But when I think of his music, that's what, and when I first saw him physically, I was just like in shock and awe. I was like, there's no way that this is like a cis man being this beautiful. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait, if he's a cis man and he's that beautiful, I can be literally like a trans dude and be that beautiful too. Like there's no exception. Why am I different? You know, I'm not an exception to the rule. So he kind of like, this is gonna sound super weird. He kind of incidentally and like subconsciously furthered my transition in a way. Like
Oh
he's kind
wow.
of the reason why I like further like delved into being called masculine pronouns and changing my name. Like he's partial to the reason why. Like I looked at him for a lot of inspiration for that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great in a great way, actually. I just think
Yeah.
that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as for Mama Moitié, I feel like I have to say this. I'd be remiss to not mention the fact that the apparently I'm not a gothic Lolita. I'm speaking I'm speaking from what I've heard from little birds, but apparently their quality has gone down quite a bit, which
That's
is
what I've
sad
heard
to hear.
too.
It's sad to hear. Um,
Yeah.
because they did have a lot of very iconic and beautiful designs that I did have wish listed and still do, quite frankly.
Mhm.
But their sizing and their recent drop in quality has been pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot in the gothic Lolita grapevine. I've never owned, or I probably would never like buy anything from Moitié just because all they do is black, blue, white.
You're pink. You're like pink.
If they ever come out with something pink, I would then yeah, I'll hop on it, but that'll never happen in this lifetime.
I gotta make a call real quick.
Maybe something in white, but maybe like an accessory or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been hearing too. And then um I don't know, there seems to be something going on with Moitié. So I don't know. I hope so. I hope it gets better. I hope he's okay.
We hope
He's
you're well, Mana.
iconic. Yeah. So I mean, I think I may know the answer. I mean, this is probably a yes, but how has Mana Sama influenced your approach to Lolita fashion and self-expression? You sort of touched upon that.
So in terms of Lolita fashion, in terms of self-expression, I feel like I touched on that pretty well. But in terms of the actual fashion itself, um, I am heavily inspired by his hair and makeup.
Hmm.
And I try to incorporate like even though it's not the same color palette, I like his very porcelain complexion and like how it's very smooth and doll-like.
Mhm.
And I think that it's pretty iconic to have like very smooth, like a very nice complexion with makeup and when it looks like that. I'm very privileged to say that I have nice skin, so I can do that. Uh, but and his hair, like when he does, I think I'm pretty sure it's a wig. Like it has to be a wig, like the crazy, like poofy. It's not a wig.
I don't know. I can't
Oh,
answer that.
I was like, wait, hold up. This shit-
Maybe it's a mixture. Maybe he uses, extensions and such. I would imagine he uses extensions, but
Right. But his hair was hugely inspiring to me because, like, as a person with like textured hair, I always felt like when I put my hair in pigtails, it looked rather messy and like I just didn't like how it looked. But when I looked at his pigtails, I was like, that shit's messy as fuck and it looks good. So I just started wearing pigtails too. I was like, Manasama wear pigtails, so I'm gonna wear pigtails. So it worked
love
out.
that. I love that. So you did mention that you have other hobbies. What are some hobbies that you have aside from J fashion?
Ooh, so non-J fashion related hobbies. I love to write. I love listening to music and like music I feel like goes heavily hand in hand with J fashion and Lolita's like
Mhm.
it's like there's so much crossover there.
Yeah.
Um but I like punk, K-pop, international pop, rap, country, like basically most of the most music out there. I like it.
Yeah.
Um and then I love baking, I love cooking, I love playing video games. Ooh, I love Alice. I feel like that's a very Lolita coded video game right there. Alice Madness Returns. Um, and then what else? I love watching movies. I also really love watching movies. There's some really good bad movies and some really bad good movies. So that's
You also did mention, not just now, but you mentioned doll and trinket collecting.
yes, yes. So I also collect dolls. Funny enough, I have one of my dolls with me right here.
Oh, she know it's so cute.
This is a Lala Loopsy. Um,
Oh.
I have her for comfort, but I do collect dolls, and I feel like doll collecting is just like hand in hand with Lolita's. Like we're just like right there with it. I have so much like so many think pieces on why Lolitas collect dolls and like little trinkets and stuff. But yeah, like I do love collecting little like knickknacks and toys and dollies. I think they're so cute.
Yeah. So how do you think they complement each other, Lolita fashion and doll trinket collecting hobbies?
I think they complement each other in the way that just like physicality aspects, like
Mhm.
having a doll with you, like with your coordinate is just like it's like a mini you, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
It's just like so the idea of that's so cute to me. I have seen so many Lolitas like match their dolls to their coordinates because I know for a fact there has been Pull Up and Angelic
Yep.
Pretty and Baby, or like some, I think there was a Jenny and Baby collaboration actually,
Mhm.
which is a different doll brand.
Mm.
But there's been a lot of popular doll brand and Lolita brand collaborations, so Lolitas can match with their dolls. And I think that's like so perfectly complementary. Like that's such good foresight for such hobbies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I personally don't really have like I do like dolls, but I don't really collect them. Like I have like one or two Barbie dolls.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Barbie dolls I have is Celia Cruz, the singer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I have her of Barbie, and then I have the
Ooh.
Margot Robbie Barbie from the
Yeah.
movie. So like I feel like yeah, I mean, when I think of like dolls, I definitely do think of like, oh, I can make like a mini version of me. And then I
Yeah.
can do more to her like however she want. Like if she want to have green hair, I can
Mm-hmm.
green hair.
Yeah. And I think both hobbies, also truthfully, controversial yet brave, I think both hobbies really inspire childlike wonder in like the best way. Like
Yeah.
that's just my little lukewarm take.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree. Like, I definitely dress in Lolita for the young Marina, like the baby young girl one. And I always do it for the brown and black girls, especially. Like whenever I see a little one and they're just like staring at me, like I know like they can't put into words how they feel, but I'm like, yeah, I want you to see you can look like this too when you're older and have money, but you can look like this too.
You're financially responsible. Yeah.
So then what similarities do you see between the aesthetics of Lolita and Doll and Tricking Collection? You sort of touched upon that a little bit.
I feel like with so this is gonna kind of go off kilter from Lolita, and this is gonna be like a different example, but I feel like it's the same vein.
Yeah,
So I think Gyaru and Bratz stylistically are very similar,
I'm
and
with you.
more Gyaru should take inspiration from Bratz and Mycene dolls if they
Hmm.
don't already.
Hmm.
Um, but that's how I kind of feel the parallels are similar, you know, where it's like you have dolls like Pulip dolls and Blythe dolls who are these very like soft, like feminine, like modest looking dolls, and they're very just like kawaii, you know? And I
Hmm.
think that just parallels the similar I get the same feeling I look at when I look at like a Lala Loopsy doll that I do when I look at myself in a coordinate. That's like the same
Mm.
vibe I get.
Speaking of dolls, I'm not sure if you've seen, but Cyber Girl, she has like a Decora doll. How do you feel about that? I thought it was really cool.
I actually own some of the Decora girls.
Oh, nice.
I had to. I just couldn't believe that something so niche would like even hit the market. So
Yeah.
for a fact that I had to get my hands on at least one of them. I have Luna, which is like the goth one, of course. So like I had to get her.
Wow. So are there any specific doll brands or any trinket collecting brands that you think are popular among Lolita brands or J fashion in general?
Yes, there's actually quite a few. I believe there's Pulip, there's
Mhm.
Blythe, there's Lalaloopsy, there's this discontinued brand called La Di Da, and they're like super, super like cutesy. I think they were actually based on like Harajuku fashion, like when they were released. I think they were inspiration was actually taken from outfits back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other like the other side of the spectrum where it's not as sweet, and you have like Bratz, Mycene.
Yeah.
You have like what is it like Begoth dolls, Living Dead dolls,
I even
and
say Monster High dolls.
High. How could I forget Monster High? Oh my god, who am I? I'm the worst doll collector. I have so many Monster High too. Monster High, yes. Like, and then there's also yeah, Lala Loopsy for sure. They definitely have like multiple characters that like give Lolita fully, like from the head to the toe.
Mm,
Um, so I think there's plenty of doll brands for like any Lolita to take part in. And I also think that outside of dolls, like fashion dolls, there's like Sanrio. Plenty of
mhm.
Lolitas collect anime figures,
Yeah.
calico critters, like all these other little trinkets. I've seen so many vast and extensive collections. It's really impressive.
Yeah, recently I've been seeing a lot of the Sunny Angels and the Labubus.
Oh,
I
Labu.
don't the Sunny Angels and Labubus personally, I don't understand. It's
I,
just
I'm
not my
more
cup of tea.
I'm more of a Monchichi kind of person.
Oh, I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
Oh, Monchichis, so cute. You gotta look them up. They're like these little like they kind of give off a similar vibe of like Sunny Angels, Cupid, but they're honestly, in my opinion, cuter and better.
Yeah. Oh,
Controversial.
I hope people don't fight you for that.
And for the forever.
Careful, careful. They could fight. They're buff. I mean, me personally, the only collective that I really truly do is just obviously Sanrio, since I love my melody.
Hmm.
However, I love my melody, but if more merch was available for Bon Bon Ribbon, I would be a Bon Bon Ribbon girl.
Ooh, Bon Bon Ribbon. Ooh,
Yeah.
Kogimian, and My Sweet Piano.
Yeah, my sweet piano has been getting more merch though. I've been seeing her getting more.
You're right.
However,
You're right.
yeah, but like aesthetic wise, though, so like my favorite are Kiki and Lala, so Little Twin Stars, My Mellow, and then Bon Bon Ribbon. So
Oh yeah.
personally, aesthetic wise, I love Bon Bon Ribbon, but she don't get anything.
She don't get no love.
She get nothing. I have like very few things. Like it's so sad. Like she's so cute. She's literally a pink bunny.
Oh God, she's so cute
She's
too.
like a pinkish lavender bunny.
It's such a shame because like you know what's so funny about Sanrio? Like total side.
And sorry to cut you off. She's a fashion designer.
I
Her
didn't know
her
that.
whole thing, her background, she's a fashion designer.
That's adorable, actually. Oh my God, a bunny is a fashion. Oh my God, what is Sanrio on? I love it. Oh my God. There is one Sanrio character that I feel gets like absolutely no love, and that is, I think his name is Big Challenges.
The crocodile, yeah, yeah. Honestly, it was because of the Hello Kitty Island game that I learned about big challenges.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
because big challenges is in the game later when you get to the story, is in there.
I haven't played Hello Kitty Island Adventure because I play Hello Kitty Dream Village.
Oh, okay, okay.
I play a
Well,
different Hello Kitty game.
it's on the Switch now, so it's no longer just on the Apple Arcade. It's on the Switch now. I don't know if it's on Steam. I could be wrong. Maybe it is, but for sure it's on Switch.
Ooh, okay. I gotta
Yeah.
get into that. I've heard so many fun things about the game. Oh my God.
Yeah, like literally the only reason I had the Apple Arcade was just for that game. So I was paying $5 a month just to play that game. But now that it's on the Switch, I'm not gonna pay $5 a month. I mean, I'll have to like restart the game because it'll be like a whole new game, but
Yeah. Screw you, Apple. You're not taking my money.
I know they already do. They already do with the all the environments that I have. So no more, no more.
Come on.
Yeah, so Bon Bon Ribbon, she doesn't get enough love. Like, hello, a pink bunny? Like, that's a fashion designer. Don't get me wrong, I love my Mellow, but she's not a fashion designer.
She just ain't.
She isn't. I mean,
She's just
this
a
year she
bunny.
turns 50, so she's an old girly. Yeah. This year is My Melody's 50th anniversary and Kuromi's 20th anniversary.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Been around for so
So there's
long.
gonna yeah, so you're gonna see a lot of merch. I mean, I have been already. I mean, last year's was Hello Kitty's 50th
Oh,
anniversary.
yeah.
That was like everywhere. Like everywhere.
Explosions.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, like I have a whole Hatsune Miku collection. So but that's it.
Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. Oh my God. My fiance does the leak dance every now and then. I could be doing it.
Wow. Yeah, that's only the only collecting that I do. I don't like really collect dolls or anything. It's just my melody and Miku.
I mean, I guess by technicality, you also do collect Lolita pieces, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, 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 but
it's still like, it's not like a considered a, like, nobody's clothes are really considered a collection, you know?
right, right, right. I mean, some people do. Some people,
People do.
they see the aspect of it and think of it as collecting, and
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like if you buy a dress, it's put it on your body, not just on a
Yeah.
hanger. But
It's
hey,
meant to
you
be
do what you
worn.
do. Right, exactly. Like you pay all this money for something, and it's like, okay, if you want it to be on a mannequin, that's fine. That's your prerogative, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. But these things are a little bit too expensive to not wear.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Have you been hearing like anything about it's been a lot of newbies saying this, but they're coming out with a lot of the Lolita is too expensive argument. And I've
Hmm.
been seeing a lot of good counter arguments for it coming from straight size Lolitas. And I feel like I
Okay.
haven't heard any like plus size Lolitas really weigh in on it. the fact that like Lolita, to me, I don't think Lolita is inherently expensive unless you make it expensive. That's my opinion.
I mean, I feel like it can be for sure. Like if you're gonna buy like the whole, let's say a whole AP set, like OTK
Right.
dress, like, oh yeah, absolutely, that's a few hundred.
That's
And even like even now, like definitely like AP, their prices have definitely gone up.
mm,
Like I've
yeah,
noticed a bit.
for polyester.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just like it really depends on where you're shopping. Like nowadays, it's easy to get Lolita on the cheap, even if it's not from like a very reputable source.
Yeah.
But you know, you kind of pay for what you get, and obviously,
Right.
like a lot of the indie brands, they put so much love in
Hmm.
all the pieces, and it shows in like the quality of the fabrics and the materials and everything. So you can make it as cheap possibly as you want, or
As
as
expensive
expensive.
as you want.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
is what you make it, honestly.
Exactly. No, I agree. So it's like I think the cheapest thing I ever got like for a dress or something was definitely like under $100. But even like that can be a lot for someone, especially like,
Yeah.
a younger person who's like in college and like don't really have like that stable income yet. That can be quite a bit, and saving up for those pieces can be a lot. But there's tons of resources
Yeah, and
for, Taobao
yeah.
example, like tons of resources on the secondhand market, buy Yahoo options. Like, I feel like there's really no excuse for people to like not be able to find things for cheap. It just takes more time, that I
Yeah.
will say, especially with the secondhand market. Like, it takes time to like find something that you really like. And even like vintage shopping. Like,
Yeah.
you could be lucky and find Lolita in your local vintage shops.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, and Lolitable pieces. Like there's definitely pieces that like can work for Lolita, just specifically maybe just not tagged Lolita.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like oddly enough, Lolita has made me way more financially responsible. Well, I feel like other people can't say the same. Like
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's helped me become way more smart about budgeting, saving, planning my purchases, like all this stuff.
Hmm.
I was not mindful of before. Like I'm very much mindful of how much I spend now when it comes to like certain things. Like,
Hmm.
and I consider myself like a poor Lita is what I call it because it's like I literally I don't know. My situation not the best, but I still feel like I make it work pretty well.
Hmm.
Like I found a bodyline dress for $20 on Mercari and I got it.
Wow.
Like that's really like an achievement to me because it's like yeah, bodyline is bodyline, but that's still like a dress that I can coordinate and I can wear somewhere, and it's still something that I didn't have to spend what I feel is an unjustifiable price for a bodyline dress because I have literally
Hmm.
seen bodyline dresses for over $100, which is you guys need to go to jail. Like what is going on? Bodyline is never worth more than like maybe $45 depending on the piece. I'm even being generous, y'all. Get real. Sorry, that was a tangent. But yeah, no, I feel like it's better to do what's within your to always do what's within your means than to overspend. And I think Lolita has helped me a lot with becoming fiscally and financially responsible. I like that I'm able to say that.
So have you ever drawn inspiration from a specific doll for a Lolita coordinate?
Yes. So specifically, I have drawn from, I think her name is Jewel Sparkles, and she's a Lala Loopsy.
Ooh.
She is a princess and she has a pet cat. She's just like me for real. And her coordinates, she wears like this. I call them coordinates. She's literally just wearing a dress. She wears like this dress that looks a lot like an OP. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Alice's dress, like from Wonderland. It reminds me
Mhm.
a little bit of that, but it's like pink, and she has these like I call them like sausage curls, like the sausage curls that you see a lot of like old school Lolitas wear. She has those. She
Mhm.
wears a little tiara. She has like little bobby socks. Every time I wear an OP, I feel like I'm Jewel Sparkles, and that's
Aw.
that's a good feeling.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. So you mentioned earlier that you've altered a dress. How have your experience been with that? Did you do it yourself or had it altered by someone else?
I alter so I outside of EGL I sew patches onto like all of my clothes. So
Oh,
I'm pretty handy with like sewing machines and just hand sewing.
oh wow.
Um I'm not handy enough to like make a piece out of thin air or like scratch fabric, but I can definitely mend things and repair things as I need or alter as I need. So I had this angelic pretty piece. I believe it's tea time a la carte tea time, one of those,
Hmm.
that name. It's the pink colorway. When I bought it, I was under the impression that the I would fit into the bust measurement.
Hmm.
I gravely mismeasured. So it
Oh.
did not fit. It fit, but like it didn't fit where I felt comfortable.
Hmm.
So I was like, all I need to do is take these waist ties. And I believe I cut the waist tie because I don't really use waist ties. Like it's not necessary for me as a plus size person because I just
Hmm.
don't need them.
Hmm.
Like corset lacing, I often don't need corset lacing either. So I'll take out like ribbons and waist ties from dresses and use them as scratch fabric. So I took the waist ties, I cut them like down the middle because they're kind of like folded in on each other, and I used the widened piece of the print, and I kind of like seam ripped down the bodice, the side of the bodice, like right here.
Hmm.
And I placed a huge chunk of scratch fabric beneath on the underside of the panel. And I hand sewed along the whole panel. And I seam ripped the waist as well to get it to like fit slightly better on the waist as well.
Wow.
Hand sewed it all back together on both sides so that way I'd have
Wow.
that much more
How long
space.
did that take?
I think
Forever?
total it took about maybe 4 hours, I
Oh
want to
wow.
say. I'm
Wow.
I'm pretty quick with it. If I took longer, it would have taken like days if I procrastinated. But I wanted to get it
Mm.
done in one go because I really wanted to wear it.
Wow, that I love when Lolitas are so crafty. It's like I have so many crafty Lolitas around me, and I'm only just crafty with my money. That's all.
That's one way. It's one way to be crafty.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple pieces altered. I've used Thistledown Emporium. They're
Ooh.
like really well known, at least in the online spaces, that
Mhm.
they do phenomenal work. Like I've gotten a couple, because I guess I would be considered like mid-size. Like
Mm.
I'm not necessarily plus size, but I'm not like tiny.
Okay.
And not just tiny people and plus size people need some custom because especially with these bus sizes, how it be, man. Like I could definitely still fit into like straight AP, but just
Mhm.
with everyone else with the pandemic, got some little bit of fluff. And so,
Yeah.
it gets a little bit hard. And
Yeah.
that's where altering comes in. And at least before, how people used to see altered pieces is like devaluing the piece. So how do you feel how about that?
So I have a pretty lukewarm, but I feel like it's an interesting take. So there's this Depop seller named Scooty Cakes who sells she sold, but because I bought most of her inventory. Um, but she had three AP pieces up on her Depop, and they were all altered to fit her measurements.
Mhm.
Weirdly enough, her measurements are my measurements. So when I went to go buy her pieces, they were surprisingly cheap, like really surprisingly cheap. I think she still has like Milky Planet up on her Depop shop. If anyone wants to go buy Milky Planet in an altered size for plus
Wow.
size, go get it. But I bought like Happy Garden and Candy Treat from her,
Mm.
and they were both altered. I think that the alterations that either she or whoever she had them done by, I think they raised the quality and value of those pieces tremendously because
Mhm.
not only can they fit more people, um, it's just about comfortability. Like I think that if you want to be comfortable, then it's worth it. Like I feel like it raised the value because honestly, if you want to alter the skirt again, you could just make it smaller. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
like, but I do think that it raises the value of prices. That's just my opinion because I don't think that altering a piece devalues it in any way unless you're like throwing paint on it maybe and like completely defacing it, throwing shit on it. I don't know. Like if you're defacing a Lolita dress, then yeah, you're lowering the value. But if you're just altering it, that's nothing.
Right. No, yeah, I'm with you there because like I've definitely seen like people like resell like altered pieces and like people would buy them like quick because it fits more people and that just makes sense. And
Yeah.
obviously there is a plus size market, at least in the US. In other countries you can't say as much, but in the US, there's a big plus size online community as well. So are you part of like any of these online communities?
Yes, I'm mainly part of the Facebook communities that they exist, like the plus size fairy keen Lolita community. I think they have that where it's not as active. Like a lot
Mhm.
of the Facebook communities aren't as active, but I still like to browse them because there is a lot of resources. Like someone posted like a master doc, like a couple, like maybe last year, 2 years ago, a master doc of all these like shops for plus sizes and like what their style is, like are they this, like what their bust measurement is. Like I think stuff like that is like so useful. So like yeah, I like being a part of these communities. I think more people would benefit if they did just take the plunge and join and do
Yeah.
some research, you know.
I agree. At least nowadays, like because everything with Meta, what's happening, and people are leaving Meta. I
Mm-hmm.
have been seeing more Discord servers that kind of pop up more or become more active, or not necessarily become more active, but more so sort of accommodate for folks who are trying to leave any of the Meta platforms. At least one in particular that I'm thinking of is in my local community to in order to get the Discord invite, you would have to be part of the Facebook uh group
uh,
first. So now what they're doing is essentially doing, still vetting just to make sure that you're like a Lolita and not a weirdo or someone that's banned from the community.
right.
They do verifications through like Discord and such. So have you joined any like more Discord groups or have you seen any like new groups maybe in your area that are more accessible to you?
I've seen there was one recent Lolita Com group that just like a general Lolita Com group that popped
Mhm.
up. But I hadn't joined it yet just because I personally am not on like Discord and personally like just I've been off of social media like quite a bit lately, just
Mhm.
not as active as I used to be. And that's just because I work so much.
Yeah.
But I do plan on like kind of getting into Discord and like seeing what's up with that because I think there's a lot more out there and I'm missing out on a lot of stuff because not FOMO just hitting me right now, but like I do feel like I'm missing out on a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I will admit though, like when the pandemic was, you know, I guess officially on, there was more online meets and all that. Have you ever joined an online meet or participated in one, or if you haven't, have you tried to like host one yourself?
Yeah, I tried to put together like a little, so in my city specifically, we have like this historical house that's like kind of like a museum at the same time, and they host
Ooh.
teas there.
Oh.
So my sister and I and like one of my friends who's not a Lolita but is interested,
Mhm.
I'm trying to get her to like wear some of my dresses or something. Like I'm trying to get her to try it out. But we're planning to do something at that tea house like for my birthday, just to like I'm gonna make them dress up, like whether it's Lolita or not, they're gonna dress up.
Oh.
But yeah, that's like a plan for a meet that I've wanted to do. And in terms of like online meets, I haven't been to any, but I did watch like the I think Bay Area Key did it. It's like the all the 101 panels they did.
Mm-hmm,
I
hmm.
really liked watching those and like just
Yeah.
seeing all the information that came out of those.
Yeah, I also watched some of them too. One of the panels that I watch is the Aero Lolita 101 panel.
Ooh, yeah.
So funny enough, before I started wearing Lolita, I wore Decora. And one of the reasons and like Decora and Fairy K, like those sort of like more fashions. And one of the reasons, or rather one of the images that got me really wanting to get into Lolita, there was other factors, but one of them was that for the life of me, I try to like look for this person's like Instagram, but I think they like just deleted it like years ago because I was trying to like find it like more recently. They did this pink. I remember like their outfit was like so amazing to me. It was like this pink arrow cord, like Lolita, and it was just like,
Wow.
oh my god, oh my
Yeah.
god. And now I'm trying to do like my own like arrow Lolita cord. So I've gotten one of Altier Piero's bustle dresses because they finally came one in pink. Yeah, they last year I got it, or actually earlier this year I got it. What I'm trying to do for the Great Lace is actually wear an Aero Lolita cord. So I got the dress from Altier Piero because I feel like that like kind of fits that vibe that I kind of want to go for. And then there's been like other like accessories that I have like collected throughout like the last year. So like I've gotten you know like those pearl like tiered like necklaces. It has like 5 tiers or something. Like I got one of those like recently, like sometime last year. And I've gotten like other stuff to kind of like fit that vibe. So I'm hoping for the Great Lace, like I'll wear that because this year or rather April, it'll be my 10th year wearing Lolita. So I kind of want to like do something like kind of special.
Yeah, yeah,
Even
that's
if I don't wear it for the Great Lace, I'm hoping at least like, like wear it out somewhere nice. So I'm
yeah.
hoping I can wear it for the Great Lace for the tea party specifically, since I feel like it would be more appropriate for the tea party.
And like Arrow to me is such like a beautiful sub style when
Yeah.
it's done like properly and it's like mm, oh, I just
Even
love it.
if it doesn't end up being arrow, I'm gonna try to do like kind of more gothic, but like,
Yeah,
pink.
that's so cool. Like I love the idea of that. You even have like kind of an almost Arrow vibe going on right now with like the choker and the neckline.
Yeah,
Like
like I feel
yeah.
like my style, like over the years, at least like more recently, the past couple years, it's been more I guess more regally kind of like goddessy, if that kind of makes sense. Like I kind of like been shifting. I don't want to say classic because they say the sweet to classic pipeline is strong, and I think that's true actually.
It's there.
I think it's very true. So,
Yeah.
um, and then like last year I went to like a goth club. Like I haven't been to a goth club in like so many years, and like I
Yeah.
wore like a very like pastel pink goth outfit.
How was that? How
It
was
was
that?
really fun. It was really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I went with like this other Lolita that like lives in the area in New Jersey. We went together and I had so much fun. I had so much fun. I went again like maybe like 2 weekends like later with some of my close girlfriends and we had so much fun. I honestly can't wait for the summertime to go again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh
they're like a really like they've been I think it's QXT's in Newark, New Jersey. So they're like a goth alternative bar. They've been there for like a while.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a while. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun and I hope I can go again this summer because I have like another like idea for like another like pastel goth kind of like outfit. I even gotten shoes that like match like that gothic aesthetic. It's like the one with like the really long heel. They usually come in like black or like white. I found
Yeah.
some in pink that like work. Yeah,
Yes.
I actually found those recently
Yes.
in a not a vintage store, like a secondhand store.
Hmm.
And I was out of state a couple weeks back or last month. I like randomly went into like a secondhand store and I saw these shoes. I was like, oh, I think those are like gothic aesthetic shoes. And it's like $40 online, $80. Give me.
That's right.
And they're like essentially they're like a little bit bigger than my normal size, but I can make it work.
Yeah. Why not?
I'll just walk slow.
Yeah. Just walk slow.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for the Great Lakes I can have like that gothic or arrow. I don't know which direction is gonna go. I'm pretty open to my options. I just kind of want to do something like a little bit different than like my normal subset.
Yeah. And like, I think I always love to see people like you who are like just inherently very like pink. I love to see it when they switch it up. It always gives like, oh, I could do both vibes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I've done a really good job with like the way how I coordinate my outfits. Like they're always pink, but like they give like different vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pink, but it's Tuesday. Pink, but it's Sunday, you know?
Pink,
I
but it's
get it.
Wednesdays.
Exactly.
So, are there any other brand pieces that you're currently looking for that are on your wish list?
Oh, honestly, I got a lot of like Taobao, like a lot of Taobao Chinese indie brand, like those they're coming out with some pretty cute stuff in custom sizing.
Hmm.
There's this piece that I think I honestly have no clue what the name is because you know how Taobao is with like naming the pieces. It's always some like ridiculous ass name. Um But there's this piece that I think Chinese Lolita updates, maybe My Lolita Dress, one of those resellers.
Hmm.
They dropped a picture of it, and it's this one piece that has like a really hard waistband in the middle. It's like like picture it's all pink OP, hot pink middle like waistband, matching head bow, and it has this all over print that's like pure sweets,
Oh wow.
and it looks very reminiscent of like kind of like the cluttered AP prints that you'd see.
Hmm.
And I really like that vibe, and the fact that it came in like custom and plus sizing really is doing it for me. So I'm looking at that piece right now, and I'm trying to like hone in on it for my birthday as like my birthday piece.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that would be so cool.
yeah.
So it with Lolita, you did mention you're trans. Do you use Lolita as an expression of your gender?
Interestingly enough, I consider it like kind of just like an antithesis to my gender, I guess.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know. I guess the best way to explain it is I find gender very performative.
Hmm.
So to me, like right now, it's kind of this may be controversial, but I consider this like my version of drag in a way.
Mm.
While I am just wearing Lolita, I'm wearing Lolita, but in terms of gender presentation, I feel like I'm participating in drag.
Hmm.
That's what it feels like. So I guess that I try to separate it from gender because at certain points, truthfully, I can get dysphoric about it and be like, yeah, I'm a dude, but why am I wearing this? But like, then I get out of my head and I'm like, stop being transphobic to yourself. Like, for real. Like, that's so bad. Like, don't do that.
Would you ever wear OG or if you have?
Ooh, yeah. So get it. Dandy Puppeteer is dropping the Carnival Puppet OG pieces. I need that shit so bad. I am like 100% using my next check to try and back that Kickstarter. Like, I am so looking forward to those OG pieces. And that's like that drop is probably the main like push that I've had to actually like participate in OG.
Wow. Yeah. So when, because I was in that photo shoot, I was the one wearing the Sax and the pink.
Yeah.
The person that was wearing the OG set in the Sax and the pink, he's like 6'2". So I don't know if that's a good reference. I don't know how tall you look tall to me, but
I am tall. I'm
oh,
tall.
okay. Yeah, so he's really tall. So I think that might be like a good reference too for you to
Yeah.
know. And it's great because Danny Puppeteer in the backer kit, they also have like I guess testimonials of like different people who have tried it on with like their measurements and like heights too.
Nice. Nice. I didn't even see that. I'm definitely gonna
Yeah,
like check
no,
that out.
she's Tiffany. She is very detailed about her campaigns. Like when whenever Tiffany has a dandy puppeteer, Tiffany, she's my BFF, so I have to talk about her since you
Of course.
mentioned her. She always is very, very detailed. They are so detailed about everything because they want to make sure that you're choosing it correctly, that you know what sizes to get, what color, etc. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can message them and they're more than open to do that. But definitely back it up. You have until April 2nd, I believe is the date, April 2nd.
Oh hell yeah. If anyone sees this and you want to know what I want for my birthday, send me money so I can get that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and Danny Puppeteer will actually have like I believe they may have like some of the sample pieces at the Great Lace too. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing so much about the Great Lace. Like, I've seen so many people getting ready for it. I'm like, I can't wait to see your guys' coordinates.
Have you ever been to a Lolita or like a J Fashion like event
I
or
went
even an anime convention?
I went to Anime Expo and I actually really enjoyed it there. I met another Lolita there, like my
Mhm.
first time meeting another in real life Lolita that I had never met online before. Her name's Nikor. She's super dope. She came up to me and she was like, "Oh, I noticed you were wearing coordinate." And she hunted me down. She hunted me down at one of those tables, and I was so shocked to see her. I was like, "Wait, you're so adorable." We're mutuals now. Shout out Nikor. She's super dope.
Really?
Um, but yeah, I've been to Anime Expo and I want to eventually go to hopefully a Lolita centered con just because I
Mhm.
think that at places like Anime Expo, the Lolita presence is so like minimal because of how vast the convention itself is.
Yeah.
So whatever, if there is like I do want to hit up Harajuku Day LA really, really bad. Like that's
Yeah.
something that I'm planning on doing this year. If anything, this year it's happening.
Yeah, at least in California, in December, usually Bay Area K, they do the Ursa Major. So hopefully that's in San Francisco. So hopefully
Yeah.
you can go to that if that's feasible for you.
Yeah, I'd love to, honestly. That'd be a dream.
Yeah. So if you haven't been to any, so what would be something you would like to see at a J Fashion or Lolita convention?
I think that's something that would be very, very cool. I'm not sure if this has been done. It probably has been, considering how creative Lolitas are. But I do think that like having these dedicated sections for like the sub styles to for Lolitas to take pictures with their coordinates.
Mhm.
Like let's say there's like a section for like punk Lolita and there's like a brick wall and like there's trash cans and you could like take your punk Lolita coordinate pictures there. There's a sweet wall and you get like all these cupcakes on the wall and like there's rainbows and clouds and like I think that would be a really good like little setup to have at a convention so that way Lolitas who are there maybe they don't feel like taking a coordinate picture in front of a bathroom, like maybe they don't feel like taking it in front of a tree, maybe they just want to have like a nice background because they worked hard for their coordinate, might as well have a nice
Hmm.
background to take something for.
Yeah, I will say at least to the J Fashion events I've been to, there's always been backdrops, but I don't think I've ever seen like what you're kind of saying. Like there's like a couple, like more than one for like let's say if like a sweet Lolita wants to be in like a cupcake or something,
Yeah,
or like the brick wall. I think that's really cute actually.
I'd like to see something like that. Yeah.
So you did mention that you love Menhera. So how do you because I know there's like a bit of controversy about Menhera and some people have some feelings about that. How do you feel about Menhera and your expression in it?
Oh, I love it. I love the mentally ill. More power to you. I definitely think that it is probably one of the more healthy ways for people to express themselves in terms of mental health. And I like that it brings the conversation of mental health in Japan and across in Western countries as well into the open. I like that. It starts a conversation. And I think that's what any good fashion should do.
Mm. That's good to hear. Yeah, because I definitely like I'm not the most like familiar with Venhera or even with like Jiraike or Ryuga Sata.
Hmm.
I just, just know like the basics of like what it is. And I don't think it's fair when people like try to like talk bad necessarily about other like fashion expressions or fashion styles because it's like just like how you wouldn't like someone talking bad about Lolita, I'm pretty sure someone that wears Jidai or Menhera, for example, wouldn't appreciate that either. So I always kind of found that a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
Although like I have seen like, some of like the more negative sides of like Jidai, at least like through TikTok. Like I've seen people, kind of like I guess like show it in a way that may not be like the safest.
Yeah.
How do you think or how do you feel about folks that may be not necessarily misrepresenting, but showing it in a way where it's like, yeah, we're all kind of just crazy so and so people. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like it is commonplace for anyone in any alternative subculture, J fashion, or really anything that isn't like mainstream normal, cis straight het whatever. I think that for that it is commonplace for misconceptions to brew. I think that it is just going to, as long as people are alive, there is going to be misconceptions about any given fashion. Same with like EGL. Like people have that we all know the misconception I'm talking about EGL. We know. Um, and then like with Gyaru, it's like, oh, they're doing like brown face, black face, like they're taking from black culture, and then with like Jiraike, it's like, oh, they're landmines, they're super unhealthy and all this and they're this and that. I think that there's plenty of misconception out there. And I think that it's commonplace, and I also think that a lot of it is just wrong because
Yeah,
like we're all just people, you know,
right.
just people wearing clothes. And I think when people try to attribute more to that, that's when problems arise.
No, yeah, I agree. I really like that a lot actually, because I mean, I will admit, like, there's been times where I've kind of been like questioning about like, at least specifically, like more so like Jedi, because at least, at least how it's like portrayed to me, it's like more like mass-produced fashion, so like kind of more fast fashiony. So it's
Yeah.
like, but of course, it's just like my ignorance, not like really like knowing about like the fashion styles. And I do think it's cute, like
Yeah.
but I just feel like it's kind of like the same two pieces, and I know that's not the case.
Yeah. I do agree with you slightly a bit with the silhouette and color palette repetition. I think that I've seen some people actually I speaking of lore, I think the GDK video she did was really well researched, and I also think that the outfit she showed in the video showed color variation very well for the style. I think she used like a red top and like a
Mm-hmm,
black
mm-hmm.
skirt, and I'm like, wow, it is just a changing color in the top. It does show variation, and I
Yeah,
like being able to see that. um
right.
I do think there is a lot of like crossover overlap with the silhouette and style. So I don't know. It's not personally for me, also just because my sizing, I don't think it'd work that well for me. And I also just don't think that I mentally align with it as well. I don't want to be a poser. I don't want to be a poser.
That makes sense. So, what would be some advice that you would give to, let's say, a newbie Lolita, or even someone that's been wearing Lolita for like 10 plus years in terms of gaining confidence and more so of experimenting with their style, whether it's inside or outside of Lolita?
In terms of gaining confidence, I will say learn to protect yourself. Carry things with you to protect yourself. Learn how to fight with your tongue. Learn how to verbally give a lashing, because people will try to mess with you, whether that's a stranger or like people in your everyday life. So just learn how to protect yourself. That's the best confidence tip I can give you, because you'll feel a lot better about yourself if you're able to, like I said, put someone in a full Nelson in AP. Um, and in terms of um, experimentation with style, I'd say don't stop looking for inspiration within EGL. Like, continue to look for inspiration outside of EGL. Um, and what I mean by that is like I look for inspiration, like I've said it so many times, through my dolls, through my dolls, through video games, through movies, through music. Even I've heard a couple of songs that have made me feel like, oh, I feel like wearing this today. Like this is the kind of vibe I'm putting off today. So like I feel like when you look for things that aren't inherent, like when you're looking for inspiration and you're not just looking at other people's coordinates, you can do a lot more.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something that I've also like because I love Sweet Lolita, I really do, but there is some sort of aspects of Sweet Lolita that I don't like. Like for example, I don't really care for prints with food on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my personal take on it. So where I feel like when you think of like a Sweet Lolita, you think of a dress with like cakes or cupcakes
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Me, I when I think of Sweet Lolita, I definitely think of like the more less bordery print, even though I'm literally wearing a dress that has like a print all over. It's from Lady Sloth, the paper menagerie. So it has like the origami animals on it. But
Yeah.
it's like I feel like it's not like in your face inherently sweet. Like I do like some of the toned down border prints, but I also
Mhm.
do like some of the loud ones. Like for example, Angelic Pretty's Neon Star Diner. It's one of my favorite prints, and I have the dress, and I made sure to try to get as much as that collection when it came out. And that's actually one of the dresses I ended up altering because it just didn't fit my bust very well, and it felt amazing, and I absolutely love it, and I will never get rid of it.
That's right.
I feel like even if, let's say, I were to like lose weight or something, it would still fit me really well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm personally with you on that because I do like more toned down prints just as much as I love like stuff like Whipped Magic. Like Whipped Magic is the peak of like loud, in your face. I'm a Lolita. Like that's the pinnacle of it for me. But I also feel like things that are a little bit more even classic leaning, like Sugar Bouquet, like that's an all over print. But
Right.
I've seen it be coordinated in such toned down casual ways that it's still EGL, but it's also like still like almost gives like casual sundress, Like I kind of like that.
Yeah, it is almost sundress season.
Coming back.
Well, thank you so much, Gunnar, for being here. You're absolutely wonderful. Is there anything you want to say to the audience? Of course, I'll have all your socials and everything so everyone can take a look and follow Gunnar's EGL adventure. Was there anything you want to say to everyone?
Um, ooh. I was gonna say like free Chief Keef, but I don't know if he's out. He's out, right?
Oh,
He's
I
been
don't
out.
I don't
Oh my
know.
god. Oh
I
no,
mean, of
free Young
course,
Thug. Free Young Thug. That's what I have to say for the EGL community.
now we gotta get a picture of Young Thug with like a little bow on
Yes,
him.
he's edited in. Oh my god. That's all I have. Thank you so much for having me.
Of
This was so much
course.
fun.
Thank you. Thank you. So, just as a reminder, everyone, if you do want to be on a future episode of Frill Talk, I do have sign up forms. Just like Gutter, thank you so much for volunteering to be on Frill Talk. I really love talking to community members, and that's sort of something of my goal for 2025. So, I'm hoping more and more people can join on here and tell us your experience. So, this has been Marina and Gutter, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye
Bye.
bye.